at this point in time, I am on R&B stations in Jacksonville, Hot 106.5 FM, also in Tampa, 101.5 The Vibe, based out of Orlando. What you know about The Vibe? What you know about Hillsborough? Thank you, appreciate you. But based out of Orlando at Star 94.5. So I'm that radio chick. I'm not a writer, haven't done the thing. They've been telling me that I need to go ahead and birth this baby. I've been pregnant with a book for a long time. I'm telling them you're baby after me. But it'll happen when it's supposed to happen. In the meantime, I am a reader. I've always loved books. I spent that time in elementary school in the library. I knew the Dewey Decimal System and the card catalog. They like, Dewey, what? I'm that chick. But I'm excited to talk to those who have done it and who are in the game and just so willing to share your knowledge. That is a beautiful part of what you all do. I love the networking. I call it our family reunion every year when we come here to F.R.E.S.H. So you guys got to put this on your calendar, that you come and you bring people with you. Every year I bring an extra person with me and we just enjoy. And take advantage of our vendors as well on the other side of the room, as well as our authors. We have a lot to offer this year. All right, so I'll start on the left because I'm a left-handed chick. That's my superpower. I'm gonna start on my left, and we're gonna go down and share your name and your genre, because I really don't have any background as to what my panel is here. She just put my name and a bunch of other names with me, so I'm gonna wing it. I think Miss Brenda Jackson say she was a pantser yesterday. Some people are plotters. They plot what they're gonna do. She's a pantser. We fly by the seat of our pants, so that's what I'm doing today.
I'm a plotter.
Yes, sir. Okay. So share what it is you do, your genre, your name, and everything.
My name is W.C. Fillmore, and my genre is fantasy horror, kind of a urban dark mythos kind of stuff.
Dragons and stuff?
Not really dragons, more like zombies and voodoo priests and you know, changelings, things like that.
Gotcha. I once knew a voodoo priest.
Yeah.
Self-proclaimed.
I can read the back of one of my books.
Do that.
Okay. All right. Laura Kendall, two-time Olympic archer, gold medalist, plies her archery skills while touring with her son Jason for the mysterious Maxwell's Traveling Gypsy Circus. Though the circus serves as a glamorous distraction from her former life, the itch of competition beckons her. When the circus sets up tent at a sleepy coastal town in Fort Myers, Florida, animal attacks grab the attention of Karen Walker, the animal control officer for the Lee County Sheriff's Department. After investigating the close-knit gypsies, Karen's suspicions fall on the sideshow freak, Jimmy the dog boy, and his cryptic uncle, Russ. With a hurricane barreling down on the community, Laura and Karen must set aside their differences and mutual affections for Deputy Aaron Todd to stop an evil awakened by mad science from destroying everyone they love.
Interesting. When did you start writing?
Like 12 or 13.
Okay. And I'm going to go down the line and ask everyone that, if you would say your name and when did you start writing and why?
Oh, you want to know why?
Sure, why?
Okay, I'm just an avid reader and just reading comic books, the Bible, anything I can get my hands on. I was one of those kids that was just a voracious reader, and that's what started it. And then you turn over the back and you see the pictures of these elderly people or older people on the back cover, and I was like, yeah, when I get older, I'm going to write a book. Okay. Well, I'm older.
Yeah, he's done it. All right, your name, why you started writing, when you started writing?
Ben Nguyen. I write children's fiction, also into the fantasy, and eventually I'll be into the biographies, self-biographies. The reason I got into writing was I found I had some extreme health conditions, and they helped me through recovering, and I saw the importance of reading, how it helped me heal, and it also, I saw how it helped my daughter in her progress educationally, and then I saw there was a gap of what she was interested in as far as reading, and I started writing on that. And I feel that trying to fill that void in the education system with the books that I'm writing.
That's your inspiration right there. Right? Doc Bethune! Ah, hey girl, what's happening?
I am Dr. Evelyn Bethune. I am the founder of Bethune Publishing House. I'm also the CEO of History in the Making Coaching Network. And I started writing because I had a story to tell about what it was like growing up as the grandchildren of Mary McLeod Bethune. Many people don't even know she has a family. And so I thought it was important to tell the story. And also that she did not come into the world as an adult. She came.
She was born, she was a
She
child.
was born somewhere, she had some parents. Okay, and so that was my first book to write about her story and her family's story. And from that grew the publishing house and the desire to help other writers tell their stories, especially in our community, because we have so many stories that don't get told. And people die and take it with them. So we have to capture it.
I know we have a lot on the panel, but in your case in particular, before you pass that on, with that name, there comes a lot of responsibility. Did you feel pressure, or was it something you willingly took up that mantle?
Yeah, today.
There's a lot to live up to, isn't it?
It is, in fact, my brothers actually went to the Marine Corps to get away from it, to find a place where they could be just themselves. You know, I tell people that when we were growing up, we didn't have a name. Our name was Grandchildren of Mary McLeod Bethune. And so that's a lot, especially when you're a teenager or you're just trying to find your space.
Have your own identity.
Absolutely.
That's a big shadow to live.
Absolutely.
But you've taken up the mantle and held it up well.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Welcome.
Hi, I am Jolene Fine, and I started
Excuse me
writing.
1 second. I'm going to pause you right there. Tell them your first name again.
Jolene.
Say that first name again.
Jolene.
Jolene. That's my name, y'all. That's my name. I need to talk to you later, my sister. We probably have shared stories.
Yeah,
Okay, go
my
ahead,
name is Jolene Fine. It was the name I was born with, so I did not make it up. Yes, it's a beautiful
It
name.
is.
It's a beautiful name. So I started writing because I was in the foster care system, and I had been separated from my sisters more than 10 times and brought back together, and then we had been separated again. And it ended up being for like 8-10 years, for the rest of the foster care system. But at the time, I think I was only 9 years old when I realized that we were never going to be in the same home again. And I just started writing as a self-help kind of therapy, not even knowing that I was helping myself. I was just creating stories to pass the time, and I was healing myself without knowing it. But so that's how I started writing at young age, at 9. The first novel, I wrote in high school I wrote my first children's book, which I later redid several times. And then when I got to be 21, I was a teacher and I taught middle school. And I loved middle school writing because it was just fun for fun's sake. It was cute and fun. And I wanted an adult book that was just clean and funny because that's what I liked. I liked clean books. And so I wanted something like that. And I went to the store. I couldn't find anything. So I decided I was going to write it. And so I wrote it. And it's funny. It's okay. Most people's first books, it's okay. It's great. But that really wasn't like my genre. I had studied English literature and English education, so I was very familiar with symbolism and whatnot. Plus, I grew up very religious. I went to seminary my entire high school years, and so I decided that I was going to write a Christian fantasy that had faith themes. And at the time, I was just going through a repentance process, and everything just spilled out into my writing. So that's.
It's an interesting story. Absolutely. And when you say clean, you mean language?
I mean
content,
everything.
Everything.
Like when people say I want a clean book, they want no profanity, no spice, no excessive gore.
Do
That's
they
what
see that as dirty? I'm just asking.
No,
questions.
the difference. So that's just the standard industry term for for it. And it's not like a judgment thing. It's just some people preference, and so it's just an easy term for people to.
All right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Who? Ebony Sampson. Come on down. She's supposed to be up here on stage. I'm sorry. What's that? If she's in the room, please have her come down. Ebony Sampson. She's not in the room. Okay. No. Okay. All right.
Okay, my name is Yonder. I write erotica. And what started me writing, I never liked how books ended.
Okay.
You know how you watch something or you read something, you're like, that's stupid. Why they do this? So I made my own endings.
Okay.
And that's where I started from. And I wrote the first book for myself, which is funny.
Right.
But it had like a cult following like Frankie Beverly.
Right.
Folks like, we'll do 2 at book 3. And I met Troy 21 years ago. He became my business partner. We started doing tours with Taboo Talk, going around talking about love, sex, and relationships. And we started off in a little room with maybe 20 people. And before we stopped, a couple of years ago, before we moved to LA, we might have had 5,000 people in one room.
Right.
For 4 hours talking about love, sex, and relationships.
What I find interesting also about you is, although there are some people who will say, this is my genre, you never limited yourself to that. How many different genres do you write?
I learned from this brother right here.
Oh, yeah.
Each time I see Keith writes 10 more genres. So I write 5. I write erotica, murder mystery, black man's mental health, devotional. I'm a poet. I write something else. I write 6. I can't tell you what the last one is. But it's on my table.
It's on your table.
So, and I keep on writing and expanding. When you come to stuff like this, brothers like Keith saying, these brothers right here, they inspire me. I'm like, okay, all right. Especially this Joker Keith. Every time you see him on social media, he writes something else, supernatural something. I'm like, see, he played too much. So I'll be like, all right, let me see. Let me go on a deep round for Star Trek. Let me see if I got the supernatural. Every time you see him online, he writes something else.
And you managed to crank it out, so obviously that's a part of your path.
It is.
Okay. I love it. I love it. Welcome. Your name?
Hi, I'm F.R.E.S.H Jones. I mainly write in the genre of thriller suspense, and also I am a poet. My first book is When the Tiger Lily Blooms, and the reason why I write in the thriller suspense is because I love the edge of your seat, what's going to happen next, and the evil guy finally meets their end. That's what I like. However, when you read those things, it's always centered around a strong male character. And if they have a female in that book, they're either the sidekick or the side chick. And you really don't know anything about her. She's just there to prop up that male character. So I decided, just like I'm paraphrasing here what Toni Morrison said, if you want to read it, write it. So that's what I did.
You're the Robin to the Batman. And then why did you start writing, and when?
I was writing all my life, mainly poems and those things and essays. But it just, when my dad bought my first Toni Morrison novel at 16, Song of Solomon, and I was hooked after that.
All right. Thank you. Welcome. Keith Kareem Williams.
Keith Kareem Williams, how are you doing today?
This man can write a book a week. and never miss a beat. They're good. It's not like he just cranks stuff out and it's not good.
Thank you.
Why, when?
My reason for writing, my inspiration is all of you guys, because I'm an avid reader. I started off with a love of reading because, I didn't grow up in the nicest of places. So the escape was in my corner, in a book, and I'm somewhere else. right? So as I started to read, I have all these ideas, all these characters in my head. I'm real creative. And I said, all right, so it's like as my good brother Yonder just said, I'm a man of many genres. I write everything. Because if I think of a fantasy story, how would I write that? If it's erotica, trust me, that's my brand of erotica. I stand on it like, well, right, I stand on it, right? I stand on it. So that's pretty much why I write in so many different genres, because I want to express myself in different ways. I'm not one thing.
We're living in an era of where you don't have to be one thing. Back in the Beaver Cleaver days, you had one job, one career, you got that gold watch after you retired 30 years in the same job. Nowadays, we can be anything, do anything, multiple income streams, multiple careers, multiple talents. Stan Harrison. How about it?
Well, they saved the best for first. Definitely not last. I have to give everyone in this room the biggest thank you. Because had it not been for you, and you, and you, and you, there will be no Stan Harrison, the author. So, thank you. The reason why I began to write is because of you. You said, Stan, you can do it. And that's why I decided to do it. So, of course, everyone knows that I'm in the financial services field, and I've always, I pride myself on building our community one household at a time so that we can escape some of those, what I call generational traps that we are consistently faced with. So I attempted to write a financial book. Then I did a little research and realized that there's a lot of financial books out there, but very little movement in terms of use. So I went inside and asked myself, and I prayed. And I said, God, what would you like for me to write? He said, write about the experiences that you have been facing from people who you are working with. So I decided to work primarily with men in mental health.
Right.
So one of the main issues that I've found is that men are facing issues and they don't have a platform. So I wanted to create a platform that men can come to and lay down those pains and just have someone to share. And that's the reason why I wrote the tool. And as a result, I was invited by our dear friend, Miss Janice Kearney, who's here, to participate in an anthology, which I was shocked that I was asked.
Oh, come on.
And she inspired me because she said, Stan, you can write. And I was like, wow. And then our best friend, Mama Tony, who's here, and Mama Tony said, I want every book that you write, the first group of books that you write, I want first. So it was just inspiration after inspiration after inspiration. And then I met Miss LD, and then this brother Kareem, and then last year I met Yonder, and Miss Pam was here, and we all got together, and we've written 2 anthologies since then.
Nice.
So it has been an amazing journey. I still feel like I'm the baby of these beautiful and wonderful writers. So I'm just a student. I'm still learning. In fact, I learned something today from Brother Vic. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. And, just thank you, each and every one of you.
That's awesome. I remember when I was here and you were like, I got my first book. I'm like, yes, they weren't going to stop until they made you get that book done.
Listen,
Yeah.
when enough people tell you do not die with that book in you, it's just like me telling you don't die without having that life insurance policy.
Exactly.
So I can't be a hypocrite. Okay?
And thank you for the men's mental health platform. And not only just the platform, but even sometimes if you have a platform to share your feelings, you don't necessarily know how to articulate what you're feeling. So that goes a long way in helping them learn how to do that as well. Welcome. Hi. Your name? I'm sorry, Ebony. Yes, welcome. And why and when did you start writing?
Actually, I started on last year, and my book is Nigeri's Courage. It is the courage to stand against bullying, and it stemmed from me being bullied in elementary.
Oh my God, they need that in Washington right now.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just saying.
And it stemmed from me being bullied in elementary,
Right.
and how I had to eventually have the courage to stand up to the bully, and not so much of fighting, but stand up in a way of giving back and to the community, and the students in the school. And we started with building each other's self-esteem, telling each other how special we are. And so that was as little Ebony. I don't take no bullying
That's
now
right.
as an adult.
And I'm going to interrupt you for just a moment. If you will pull your chair a little bit closer away from that speaker,
Yes.
because we're about to get a little feedback. Thinking that might help if you get behind that speaker. Talking to your microphone for me.
Testing.
That's good. Thank you, my love. Yeah, and see, as a child, you have no idea that sometimes the bullying is because you're so beautiful
Thank you.
and talented.
Thank
The kids don't know that,
Yes.
you know, so continue. Yeah,
And so it took me a while to get started. I was started and stop, and then it was last year when I lost the king of the family, my father. I realized that I had procrastinated a little too long. And so now he's gone and not able to see, but I am carrying on the legacy.
Yes, you didn't give up.
Yes.
You continued. All right, welcome. Okay, so we have a large panel here. So as we come back, and I might as well just leave the mic down here and come on back around again. So this is your first book, you said?
Yes, ma'am.
How many do you
Well,
plan on?
this is actually my third.
This your
The
third
first
book.
one I did, it was a coloring book on Dr. Bethune. I work at Bethune-Cookman. I run the museum, Dr. Bethune's museum. And the first book I did was a coloring book on Dr. Bethune. This is the second, and then the office coloring book for this one. So this is actually the second.
How many do you plan to write?
4.
Okay. And then what then? What are your plans? Do you have any future ideas?
To reach as many kids as possible, to let them know that it's okay to be different.
Right.
It's okay to not fit in. And it's okay to stand alone. Sometimes it's best to stand alone.
Amen.
That way you stay out of stuff.
That part.
And when I was young, I didn't realize that I wanted to fit in. I wanted to be a part of the crowd. And I thank God that my parents didn't allow me to fit in with the crowd, because I probably wouldn't be the young lady that I am today if they allowed me. I'm a PK, I'm a pastor's kid.
All right.
And so my daddy didn't play.
Oh my goodness.
You know, so because of that, I am the young lady that I am today. And I thank God for it.
Amen. Any plans to one day maybe write your memoirs? Because you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that works. Awesome. Thank you, Ebony. All right, let's come back around with Stan. How many books? How many more do you plan to write? What are your future plans?
Currently 3, 1 which will be released next month,
Okay.
and 2 planned this year with collaboration of folks in the room.
Is there a follow-up to the tool? Did I miss it?
Yes, there is a follow-up to the tool.
That's not. Did I miss it? Is it already out?
Not yet.
Okay.
It's pregnant. You know, I can't be pregnant, but it will be birthed.
Yes, you can be pregnant.
No.
Sure you can. It's more than one way to birth a baby.
I think I'm gonna need your help so we can pull it out of you.
No worries. Look, whatever I can do to help.
There you go.
Let me know.
Let's
Let
make
me
it
know.
work.
All right. Keith Kareem Williams, my friend.
I've written, I kind of lost count, but I know last count I'm at maybe 25, 26 books.
All right now. Okay. On average, about how many books do you write? Say like a year.
About 3 or
Okay.
4.
Yeah.
So what's next is 2 of my favorite genres that I get to mix together, which is a thriller and erotica. It's called Wildflowers and Bullets. That's coming. That's crazy. I love it.
I love it.
And then last year we had a conversation,
Oh, yeah, we did.
right?
3 words.
So 3 words, and this is why I love coming here. Those 3 words inspired 3 books that I'm working on, a trilogy.
Yes.
Nasty Work,
That's the word.
Diabolical, and
Savage. Let me give him a little bit of a brief backstory on that. I meet everybody here every year, and as we met last year, and actually it was at the film festival, we were just having a conversation, and he began to share some things about things that were going on up in Brooklyn, I think it is. And every other word in the conversation was either diabolical, and then he would talk a little bit more, he said nasty work, and he would talk a little bit more, he would like savage. And my girlfriend and I, we were sitting there, and those words kept popping out. And so we just kind of teasing each other. Every time we sing, we'd be like, diabolical, nasty word, savage. And then we finally said, you got to write a book with those titles. And he has. He's going to. He's going to. That's so awesome. That's funny. That's funny. Yes, my dear. How many? How many more? What's next? Any idea of thoughts of putting that poetry to music, maybe songwriting?
Well, actually, I wanted to turn my poetry book into a stage play, like a vagina monologues type thing. That's one of the dreams I want to do. But I'm going to do my debut novel. That's going to be a trilogy. I like getting middle end. I don't no more, no less. And I'm also looking to do a collection of short stories with the theme moonshine and whiskey because I am a Southern country girl. So that's in the works. That's also going to mix sci-fi along with thriller as well. And also a young adult thriller for my sons. They've been asking, so I need to deliver it.
I love the mashups with the genre sometimes. Just like a little bit of this, a little bit of that. All right. Well, God bless you in your future endeavors. All right, Yonder.
Okay, I have 13 out currently. I have 40 unpublished in my phone, actually. As writers will tell you, I wrote some of these stories 21 years ago.
Okay.
I found an old email and I had 5 books in there. But as you write, you just keep writing. I just write, and like I said, talking to certain people, I just write as much as I can. And I got, with the new phone, you can do everything new phone.
Everything.
You know, the notepad and everything, so I just keep writing. So what we're doing now is book 6 of What I Do Is Taboo should be out. It's actually the editor right now. Another 30, 45 days. And I'm gonna do some more murder mysteries, and I actually have something I want to share with Keith because he said he has a book out called, what was the book? The newest one. Yes, I have a story called Wildfire. It's based on that song, Wildflowers.
Absolutely.
And I'm gonna send it to you. We can work on something. Yeah.
I love the collaborations too. I love the collab. It's beautiful. All right, my sister, Jolene.
I have 8 published books and I'm sitting on 2. I do not plan on publishing them this year. They are continuation of standalones for my fantasy series. And so my goal probably in the next 5 years is just to go to as many places in the United States and spread my name, get my fan base up, hopefully get traditionally published with those, at least one of the books that I'm sitting on, because it's like the Godhead meets Superman, you know, it's epic. And then hopefully have a following because, you know, traditionally published, they want you to have a following.
All right.
So.
Well, you're getting out there. All right. Welcome to Fresh.
Oh gosh, I have like 6 books, 2 anthologies. One is actually a book for Lent, a book of prayers and meditations. And so I have 3 right now that are finished in my computer. And the one that I'm trying to get out before July. Okay, is it's actually my testimony, because I have a testimony.
I know.
And so my daughter has been pressing me for a year now to do that. She said, "You keep talking about Mother, it's time to talk about you."
Yes.
And so here we
You
are.
have your own personal story.
Absolutely. And I have 5 authors right now in the midst of finishing up their stuff. So all of that is coming in 2025. I'm excited about that because I have 3 brothers that are writing, and they've got amazing stories that they've been writing for years, and they're just like on
Were you aware that they were writing all these years?
Mm-hmm.
Were you aware that they were writing over the years?
No,
Had no clue. Okay.
nope, no clue.
It's in the genes.
So you know, being a publisher is exciting to me because I help people get their stuff out,
Yes.
and so I'm looking forward to them releasing their product.
That's great.
So that's exciting.
You've been trying to help me for years.
Yeah, and Lucy, one of my authors right there, Lucy, Desmore.
All right.
You know, her husband was my first book
Uh-huh.
that I published.
Nice.
You know, so, and then Milton is.
I have, my next one coming up is going to be a chapter book. It's a spinoff of one of my picture books, so I just have the character getting a little bit older. What's in the future is that book, and I have a thesis on the healthcare system and the patient's Bill of Rights.
Well, that's a whole other end of the spectrum.
Oh yeah, that's yeah. So the children's books, that's for my kids and for the school board system. But me personally, and for older people and for the community, is the patient's Bill of Rights, and the healthcare system. So I'm trying to figure out how I can take all this information that I got researching United States healthcare system, Germany, Canada, France, and basically going and grabbing all the statistics and seeing what we have as rights as patients. Because like I said, what started me into writing was my personal experience, which was I had a massive stroke and a seizure. And when I was in the hospital, the medical professionals told my wife that she had to sign some documentation that, you do sign this, and they kept pressuring her. And if she didn't sign it, then they were like, okay, we're gonna have to go through his head. And if we do that, then he won't be able to use the left side of his body. He might not make it. And by the time I found out about that, and I started doing research, I went back to school and I found out about informed consent. So you don't have to sign something, or you can give even verbal consent. So why were they pressuring her to sign this documentation, which is basically signing your rights away so that if something were to happen, they're not liable. So all this information I grabbed, I found information about what hospitals are charging patients versus what the hospitals would charge, what insurance companies would charge a hospital for patients who have insurance versus patients who don't have insurance. And it's just so much information. So I'm working on that's a big one that I anticipate to have done, if not by the end of this year, then early next year.
And you're gonna share that with everybody. I love that. I love that when you ask the questions and when you find out some good information, then you teach others how to self-advocate and you share that. Because we all know our people perish for a lack of what? Hello. Okay.
All right. I have 2 finished novels, published novels. I also have 3 what I would call short anthologies. And right now I'm working on a prequel to this, plus I have a biblical adventure book that I'm working on. And I'm trying to work with Kareem down there. Okay. Yeah. When I first came to the first show here, he came to me and he was like, oh man, this is really nice. I looked at his stuff and I had to upgrade.
Okay.
I had to take my stuff to another level after meeting this guy right here. Just like Yonder said, every time I look around, he's going up another level. So I'm trying to get him. Well, right now he wants to work on doing screenplays for the anthologies.
Yeah, okay.
And we might hook up together and try and sell that to television.
I love the way you inspire one another and bounce ideas and collaborate. It's a beautiful thing. It is a true family atmosphere. So a lot of times we'll say, if this is your first year at Fresh, welcome to the Fresh family, And hopefully you'll be able to make it back every year. I take off from work just to be up in here. You may have heard me on the radio, but I was here. Technology is amazing, ain't it?
He helped me a lot.
I know. And I know that we're probably out of time, right? Okay. Just real quickly, how can we reach each of you? Real quick, just how can we reach you?
You can go online to wcfillmore.com, and that's...
How many L's in Fillmore?
One L.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah.
You can Google Ben J Wynn, W-Y-N-N is my last name. You can Google that. All my information will pull up from my website and my books.
Gotcha.
Most social media platforms, Dr. Evelyn Bethune. And my email is drevelyn@greatnessdna.com.
I'm most active on TikTok at Jolene Fine and jolenefine.link.
Our names, I think, are spelled differently. How do you spell your Jolene?
Jolene.
Oh, really? I thought you had the I-N-E. Girl, we are sisters. That's me all day. Jolene.
If only I had your hair, I girl.
You could have my hair if you go to Amazon. And a good salon. I'm just gonna be real. You too can have this hair.
Well, mine is Yonda Hearns on all social media. Just Yonda Hearns, or just Yonda, you'll see it. And you'll see a picture of me now.
Always smiling. I love it. I love it.
You can find me on Facebook, Author Fox Jones. Also on my IG, Author Fox Jones 1. Also on Threads, Author Fox Jones 1. Also my website, authorfoxjones.com. And my email is authorfoxjones@gmail.com.
That part. All right.
On Facebook, you'll find me under Keith Kareem Williams, and everywhere else, Snapchat, X, formerly Twitter, TikTok, Threads, at Reem After Dark, one word. Repeat after me. At Reem After Dark on all other social media platforms.
Thank you.
If you will hold up your red bags, anybody that holds up their red bags, that's how you can find me.
He's flossing. He's flossing up in the on What? He's flexing and flossing.
It's a nice bag. It's probably
He on, I got a bag. Take me to the grocery store with you. It's a good bag though.
It definitely is.
On Facebook, I'm under Ebony Sampson. My email is NigerieCourage, NJRIECOURAGE
How do you spell your Ebony?
Ebony, EBONY. Last name Sampson.
All right. Listen, thank you all. Give them a round of applause. The Fresh family. Thank you all so much for being here, sharing and showing love, and just allowing me to chat with you a little bit, and having our Fresh family join in too. God bless you all. All right.
Thank you.